Hello and welcome to Where Women Talk. I'm Nadia Giordana. My guest today is author Carmen Tribbett. She's the author of several books, most prominently the Monster Dog series, that's for children. And she's also written a book on the subject of Alzheimer's, that one's for adults. Let's go talk to Carmen and hear her story. Carmen, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Good morning to you.
It's nice to have you here. You're with Fox Point Publishing, is that right?
I am with Kirsten Hall. It's marvelous. She's so helpful, and I just can't say enough good things about Fox Point.
They do a good job and put out some really, really nice books.
From all over now, yeah. She's really growing.
Absolutely. Is writing something that you've done all of your life?
Well, in school, of course, and when I was teaching, the principal suggested that I write children's stories, and she made such a nuisance of herself about it that I finally told her I had written one over Christmas, and I gave her the story of Hansel and Gretel. So she kind of got off my back, but she also planted the seed. And that was a very, very long time ago.
Are children's stories the primary thing that you've written?
Yes, although I have a book for adults now on our life with Alzheimer's, because my husband died from Alzheimer's, or of Alzheimer's. And it's going to the editor in 2 weeks.
So I didn't quite catch that. Is that going to be out soon? Is that a book?
It's going to the editor, so it'll be a few months, but it's for adults, and it's the story of our life together with Alzheimer's.
Oh, how wonderful. I have a little experience with that disease too, so I'll be looking forward to that.
It's a heartache.
I've done several children's books, and then the adult book is coming out in a few months.
And one of the children's books is about Alzheimer's.
Oh.
The Dog with a Big Heart Learns About Alzheimer's. It was the second book I wrote.
Oh, how fantastic. What?
It's for about 10-year-olds.
It's what?
It's for about 10-year-olds with a letter of introduction to the parents.
That's an age where they can begin to understand about it.
I actually read it to a group of adults this week at the Hormel home. They're called Y Matrons, and they really like the book too. So adults like it too. It's simple, but it's fun, and there's of course, very serious parts in it, but also fun parts.
I'll bet they really do. How did your family react when you published your first book?
They were just absolutely thrilled. Of course, I sent copies to each of them, and they were really pleased that at my ancient age, I was doing this, because I'm 89 now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Like I said earlier, you look more than 10 years younger than that.
Well, I have been blessed with good health and a happy life and wonderful husband and children.
And good genes.
Yes, I guess so. And an interesting life, yeah.
And I think, don't you think an interesting life keeps you interested? And that's probably, I'm guessing here, I write too. What keeps you writing?
Perhaps. And I've also made a point of cultivating young friends. And I think that keeps you young as well, to be around younger people.
I've heard that too. I think that is a good idea. From where do you get most of your inspiration?
From that goofy dog.
What's its name?
She's Dematas, but we call her Tassie.
Oh, Tassie, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it means a small cup. She's only about 12 pounds now. So she's a very tiny puppy.
And she gives you material to write about.
She does. She really does. And I post them on little Post-its when I get an idea, and then later on I write. That's how I got started, was posting. I suddenly looked and I had 12 or 13 funny incidents, and so I did the first book.
And I imagine she does funny things.
She did, now that she's getting so old and she's hard of hearing and doesn't see very well. She's not quite so funny. Um, but she's twice as demanding.
I imagine she's adorable though.
Well, she looks just like the picture.
And that picture is adorable.
She looks exactly like that. The artist is
Do you have
fantastic.
a copy of the book handy? Otherwise, I'll put one up on the
Yes,
screen.
yes.
There she is.
My artist, Katie Hunter, is young, talented, beautiful, and she just captures this dog.
And the name of the book is The Monster Dog. There's more. There's at least 2 books, though. Is that right?
4.
4.
4. This is the last one. The Monster Dog, Life's Lessons Learned. You see, because I was a teacher and a nurse as well, I always have a few stories in the books that teachers or parents can use to discuss with the children. So I see them as a teaching tool.
What are the different themes of the 4 books?
Well, the first one is for 4-year-olds, and they absolutely love it. And the back says, this is Tassie. She's small, she's sassy, and she has a lot to say. And there's a story about her in her little medieval costume where she wouldn't let me put it on until someone said at a party, oh, look at Tassie. And then she paraded around in it and then acted like when they took her picture, you sure you get my good side. She's really kind of a monster dog. So anyway, that's the story that goes with that particular picture. And the second book is The Monster Dog. This has been, what's the word I want? It's been approved by or suggested by, or it's a better word, by Dr. Shannon Silva, who's a pediatrician at the Mayo Clinic Health System in Austin, where I live. And so this is about trying to explain to children what happens with their loved one who has Alzheimer's.
It's wonderful to do that through the eyes of an animal.
And this one, he dies at the end. And oh, here they are.
Oh, there's your husband. Yeah.
The puppy, yeah. And he dies at the end, and she says, we try to remember his well-lived life, happy times when he was strong and well. We are pleased he's no longer sick or forgetful or confused. But best of all, she says that someday all 3 of us, Carmen, Ken, and I, will be in heaven, together in heaven. And that makes me happy, for I loved him.
Precious.
So I'm very proud of this book. It talks about grief. And it's funny. It has lots and lots of pictures because the children have to be entertained as they read through the book. So there's lots and lots of pictures in that particular book.
Is there something that I haven't asked you that you'd like the audience to know?
Well, maybe they'd be interested in my 5 careers.
Yes.
Yeah, when I was a child, I had a doll baby. We all played dolls when I was little. I mean, baby dolls. And so I had a bed, and then my daddy for Christmas made me a roll top desk, which I still have. And so my dollies would be sick one day, and I'd make them all better. And the next day I'd be their teacher. So all my life, I was torn between teaching and nursing. And I actually got to do both, became a teacher, 6th graders, and also became a nurse and ended up teaching lab skills in a nursing lab. So I got to put both hats on at the same time, and it was a marvelous job, and I enjoyed it so much. And so all my life I was just torn between the 2, and it was just so rewarding to be able to combine them in my last 5th career. Well, I guess this is my 5th career, my 4th career.
That's really something. Of course, through the course of a lifetime, I think it keeps life more interesting to have different careers, doesn't it?
It does. It was really, one thing just seemed to lead to another.
So we know that there's one book that you have plans for in the next few months. Any more after that?
I also have another book, 3/4 done for children. It's What Shall I Be When I Grow Up? It's the monster dog. And so she teaches math using treats and decides she might be a teacher. And she loves to bark. She calls it singing, so she might become a singer. And she points out that she is Tibetan and Chinese, but an American citizen on one page. So there's all kinds of fun things in this book too. But she looks at all different vocations. And I have 8 stories done and 2 more in mind. So that'll probably be out this year sometime.
Have you, before the pandemic, did you get any chance to do personal appearances?
Oh, yes. They're always about Alzheimer's. And I did, in fact, last week spoke at, and did I mention that before?
No, I don't think so.
Last week I spoke to the Y matrons at the Hormel home, which is a lovely home in Austin. And I read the book, the Alzheimer's book, and then they were free to ask questions about Alzheimer's, and I passed out literature from the Alzheimer's Association. So that's sort of my mission in life, is to teach people about Alzheimer's and encourage them and how to communicate and so forth.
And now that the world is opening up, you'll probably have a few more opportunities to do that over the summer, won't you?
I will. I'm free, so they're happy to have somebody come and speak, and very gracious. So I've done that before the COVID, and now it's picking up again.
Do you plan to go to any book events?
No, I don't, because I just don't. At my age and with the dog and getting a sitter and so on, it's complicated.
Traveling is a little harder, but these days I think it's the one thing that came out of the pandemic is being able to do like this, electronic appearances. And I don't think that's going to go away 100%. So I'm sure people will get different ways to see you and meet you.
Well, that might, and something may come along that'll tempt me again, because I was supposed to go to Barnes and Nobles at one before the COVID, after the COVID. And so, there are some opportunities close by that I might consider then, but at present I have no plans.
Do you have any advice for other writers similar to you?
Well, I don't know. I think just encouragement. If you think you have a story, do it. I think there are a lot of people who could write. I remember when I was president of the Friends of the Library, we did a book. It's called Austin Remembers, and people wrote in and wrote stories. And I remember one of my friends said, "Oh, I could have done that. I just didn't realize I could write." And so, he said, "I want you to do another one so I can write in it." And I think people just don't realize sometimes how gifted they are, or what a joy it would be just to put it down on paper if nothing ever comes of it.
That is excellent advice, and we've run out of time already. That is perfect. I think you're right about people not realizing how talented they are, and it's suddenly the light goes on. It's like, oh, I could have done that. Maybe I still can do that.
I think you're right.
Well, thank you for being on the show today.
Well, you're welcome, and I've enjoyed meeting you, and I've enjoyed talking about myself and my little dog and my books.
Absolutely. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time with a brand new guest.
Wonderful. Goodbye.